Hello YouTube, this is Goddard Radio Moscow with another beer review. Now I noticed that I was getting quite a few views from Canada, and I had initially planned to save this beer for a few videos down the line, but today I have the Sleeman's Honey Brown Lager. I'm quite looking forward to reviewing this one actually. But out of all the breweries that I've researched so far, this one kind of by far has the most complex history. Now Sleeman's Brewery are based in Guelph in Ontario in Canada, and they were founded back in 1834. And the family owned many breweries over a fairly short period of time. The original founder was John H. Sleeman, and originally the family name was Sleeman, but this was changed in the early 1800s. And John Sleeman founded 3 breweries, one in St Catharines called the Samford Spring Brewery, 2 in Guelph, the first being Hodgert's Brewery, which was sold, and then later Silver Springs Brewery, the latter of which, this one, he relinquished control to his son George in 1867, and this was later renamed Canada Malt Products. Now the Sleeman Brewing and Malting Company was established by John H. Sleeman's grandson George A. Sleeman in 1900, and George A. Sleeman's son Henry O. Sleeman also founded the Spring Bank Brewery in 1927. But interestingly, by 1933, the brewery had had its license revoked for smuggling beer across the border into Detroit, Michigan. You know what some of the American lawmakers are like with their beer, so this beer is made by a family who at one stage in history were beer pirates, which is quite funny. But the brewery had ceased operations in, I believe it was 1955, but in 1988 the brewery restarted operations with John W. Sleeman at the helm, and this is the great-great-grandson of John H. Sleeman, the original brewer who I mentioned earlier, and the current products that they do are based on the family's original recipe. Now in 2006, the brewery was purchased by the Japanese company Sapporo for about $400 million, but between 1988 and 2006, Sleeman's had absorbed many Canadian microbreweries, including Onkanagin Spring Brewery, Upper Canada Brewing, Maritime Brewing, Shaftesbury Brewing, the Shaftesbury Brewing Company, and Unibrow. And this had made them, I believe at the time, the 3rd largest brewery in Canada. But the company also produced a cream ale, an original draft, Silver Creek Lager, original dark, Roos, a light beer, Clear, which is a low carb beer, and a porter and IPA they are named John Sleeman introduces IPA, John Sleeman introduces porter. So yeah, there's a lot of products from this company. This one just caught my eye. I got this one from beersofeurope.co.uk. I'll put the link for this website into the description. But in Canada, Sleeman's Brewery also produce under license Pabst products, which includes the Old Milwaukee, Stroh's, Schlitz and Pabst Blue Ribbon, as well as producing Sapporo under license for their parent company. But interestingly for me, Sleeman's also produced Maclay's beer under license, and this was from Alloa, which is literally a mile away from where I come from, and part of the old brewery is one of the local pubs that I drink in every so often. So it's quite interesting to see that this company has that connection back to Scotland, which is always pretty cool. But I'll just play with the camera a little second and see if I can get turn the autofocus back on and let you have a little look at the bottle. You can see that this has got some nice sort of glass engraving work on the bottle here. You can see it's got on the top you have the Sleeman's logo, which is quite cool. I'll just open this guy up. Try not to break the bottle cap because I like to keep these. There we are. As you can see, I'll just let you see the bottle cap here. Don't know how well that's focusing actually, but there you can see that's not focusing very well. But as you can see, the bottle cap is simply, it just has honey brown lager with a Canadian maple leaf on it, which is pretty cool. But let's just get this guy out and see what he tastes like. This looks really nice actually. It's a really nice sort of browny amber colour. I'm looking forward to this one. I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while. Now as you can see, there's quite a foamy head on this one. It's a really nice dark reddy brown colour, which is kind of to be expected. There's a good bit of there's a good bit of carbonation in this one, which is quite cool. This one's quite hazy actually, which I didn't expect. I thought it maybe would be a little bit clearer. The head's fading fairly quickly, I would say. Let's get a little smell of this. This one, by the way, is a 5.2% ABV. You can see it's golden amber colour. Head has really little retention. There's a little bit of, when you move it around, there's a little bit of patchy lacing with it, which is kind of cool. The head's almost pretty much all faded now. Let's just have a little smell of this one. There's a very, very faint kind of hoppy aroma to this. Mainly it's the sweetness and mainly the sweetness. You kind of get the caramel and honeys. Obviously, with it being honey brown lager, that's what you would expect. Definitely the sweetness is what predominates here, but you would expect that with it being honey brown lager. Let's just give this a little taste. And that's really nice actually. It's similar to the aroma. It has the caramel and honey flavours are very predominant, but you can also taste some graininess and a little bit of corn in the background, which is quite cool. You've got a little bit of the thing that's good about this is quite light on the mouth, I would say. It's medium bodied, but it is a little bit watery, I would say, which is quite good. It makes it easy drinking. I would have expected it to be a little more stronger flavoured than this, to be honest. It's really nice though. It's blended really well, I would say. Like I say, this is a kind of, there's a good little bit of carbonation in it. It's medium bodied. It's mainly got a kind of sweet flavour. To me, it seems like it might be a little bit under flavoured. Another honey beer I know is Bloemen beer from Belgium, which is a lot stronger than this, so maybe I'm just making the connection between this and Bloemen beer and thinking that compared to that, this is kind of under flavoured. But I'll review Bloemen beer at a later date for you and then put the link for this one into the video. But all in all, I would say this is it's a nice drinking beer, to be honest. I would class this more as one that I would class this more as a tasting beer rather than as a drinking beer. But that's maybe just me. I prefer to drink pilsners. You know, I prefer, my drinking beers are probably Sam Adams and Bitburger and things like that. But overall, this is a really, really nice beer. I'm quite happy that I've managed to do my first Canadian beer review. But Canadians, if you're watching, please recommend to me in the comments different Canadian breweries to look at, because all we really get in Scotland is Moosehead, and I was lucky to find this through the Beers of Europe website, which is a specialist beer importer. But please suggest to me different Canadian breweries for me to look at, as I really would quite like to explore Canadian beer a bit more. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll go away and enjoy the rest of this. But thanks for watching the videos again. Please like, subscribe, comment, suggest beers, let me know your own thoughts on this beer in particular. But thanks again for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow, I think either with a Polish beer or a Czech beer. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.